What's going on, my PT peeps and my Walking Dead family? Welcome to the PT channel. I'm One Eye Bri, back to talk about The Walking Dead. And in this video, we're going to talk about Season 9, the comics, a bunch of different things that may happen on the show for the remaining episodes 913 through 916. So obviously, if you're worried about spoilers, just stop watching. I'm excited to talk about some things that I might have seen that may be some clues to what happens with the Pike lineup, who gets picked, and if you don't know what the Pike lineup is, we'll talk briefly about that. But in episode 911, after Alden and Luke were given back, I see a sequence of events that's pretty interesting. You see Enid and Alden enjoying the night together, and you see these weird little statue things that were made from metal or parts, and it reminds me of Jadis, right? Not sure what to make of that. I'm not sure if it's connected with the Pike lineup or what, but if you look at that, what do you make of it? They pan on it for a couple seconds. It's not a big, long time like the symbol was that we found out was the Highwaymen. But what do you make of these tchotchke things that look to be made from metal and wrenches? What do you make of it? Then we see Nabila lying in bed. Jerry is holding one of his children, probably his youngest child, a baby, and Nabila is sleeping. Does that highlight that Nabila will get killed and Jerry is going to have to be responsible for the kids going forward? Then we see Tammy Rose and Earl with their new baby that they got from the Whisperers. Well, Connie did, and I guess Tammy and Earl adopted the baby, and they're going to raise the child. But a lot of people believe that Tammy Rose is going to get killed because of the comic connection. Tammy's one of the victims, and also that we see her more and more and more. And based on the track record of The Walking Dead, when you start to see more of a character and more of a character, especially a secondary or tertiary character, it means that something is probably going to go down. And this is The Walking Dead, remember, so probably we're going to have deaths. When Jesus died back in episode 908 into 909, they buried him. They put him in a coffin and they buried him. And we saw three people's face close up: Enid, Marco, and Tara. And I think all three could be victims. Enid could be a victim because she's connected with Alden. Enid's a doctor. You know how that goes on The Walking Dead. And also, Caitlin Nakin, I believe, moved to California recently, and people are thinking that she got killed off and she won't be on the show anymore, so she doesn't have to be in Georgia. She moved to California, potentially for music, acting, or something, but just not in Georgia. Marco, we've seen more and more and more of him. So again, when you see more of a character, that usually bodes that something big is going to happen, and this is The Walking Dead, probably means death. So Enid, Marco, and Tara could be victims. Again, we saw them in episode 909 in this sequence. Does it foreshadow what can happen in episode 914, 15, or 16? I don't know exactly when, but some of those people are going to the fair. I believe this group of Hilltoppers are going from the hilltop to the fair. We have to watch episode 913, which airs this Sunday, to see what happens, but I believe Hilltop is going to the fair. And for those who don't know, the Whispers infiltrate the fair. They pick certain people and kill them. And it turns out that they put their heads on pikes to send a message. We'll potentially see that in episode 914, 15, and or 16. We don't know the exact timeline, but Tammy Rose could be a victim and she's going to the kingdom, I believe. Again, we have to watch episode 913 to see where it goes. 914 could be a flashback episode with the X scars, and I don't know if it's the whole episode, but we might have to wait to 915 to find out who the Pike victims are into 916. I don't think we'll find out until the final episode of the season, but if Tammy Rose, Earl, and the baby and the rest of this group are going to the kingdom, that's potentially how you're going to get picked. It could be these three kids from Hilltop. One of them could get picked. I don't know how many victims there are, but I get asked this question all the time. What are your Pike predictions? What are your Pike predictions? Who's going to get picked? Who's going to get picked? I had my predictions in another video, but Nabila is definitely on that list because she's going to be at the kingdom for sure. She's going to be there. She's connected with Jerry. She's connected with her babies. She's connected with loss on the show. If the show lost Nabila, it's not the biggest loss by any means, but it impacts the kingdom, Jerry, and the babies. I would assume the characters that are picked for the Pike lineup are going to mean something going forward. The Whisperers may or may not know who these characters are, potentially. I think that the Whisperers will kill characters on purpose. Now, one of those people could potentially be Connie or a woman that kind of looks like Connie. Now, I don't know if these four people are going to make it to the fair, the kingdom, or be included in the Pike lineup, but what if Connie's lookalike, who is Nora, basically they look pretty similar, is going to be a victim because I believe that Connie will not be at the fair. Magnus Group will not be able to find Connie and they'll be freaking out, and it'll actually be Nora. And the last time we saw Alexandria, Nora and the group wanted to go to the fair. They voted in favor of the fair, except Michonne and Aaron and maybe a couple other people. But majority of the people wanted to be included in the fair. So Laura could be there. She could be a victim. Nora could be there. You have to be at the fair to be a victim, most likely. The kingdom is going to be where the tragedy happens. The kingdom is falling apart. It's dire needs. They're not doing well. The fair is their last chance, according to Ezekiel and Carol. So it's a big thing. Even though it's going to be a problem, I think the kingdom will run into some trouble at the fair for sure, and that's where it happens in the comics. I think there's going to be remixes of things how it happens, especially with who the victims are, but could Ezekiel be one of those victims? Some people say yes, some people say no. Ezekiel is picked in the comics, and I believe the Whisper Pike lineup can be like the Negan lineup for sure. The Negan lineup was a little different, as we had Abraham and Glenn, and it was just Glenn in the comic. In the Pike lineup, the Whisper Pike lineup, there's Ezekiel and Rosita and like 10 other people. But the big ones are Tammy Rose, Luke, Ezekiel, Rosita, and a bunch of others. Some people that aren't on the show anymore, but we'll have to see how it goes down. Check out the video with that thumbnail to find out more about the comic connection and what may happen on the show. And I'm excited and also dreading it. I just hope Jerry's not one of those. If Ezekiel goes, it'll suck, but I'm kind of expecting it. And everybody knows the show is based on the comics. But since the show knows that, they might throw a wrench in there and mix it up. Could be what it is. But according to Seth Gilliam on Talking Dead, he warns shocking deaths are headed to The Walking Dead. Asked for a preview of the remaining 4 episodes of Season 9 by host Chris Hardwick on Sunday's Talking Dead, Gilliam's answer was simple. Yes, there are some shocking deaths to come. Is he going to be one of them? Could be. I doubt it because I think he's going to be connected with the radio, but it could be, for sure. But what do you think? Do you think Father Gabriel will be one of the victims? Will they stick to the comic? Rosita, Ezekiel, Luke, Tammy Rose, are they in trouble? But like I said, the radio is going to be seen again. They brought it up again. We saw it in the first half of Season 9, and we just saw it last week. So I would assume we'll see it again one more time. What if that's how they end Season 9 in the finale? As for Negan, I think he's safe. I personally think that he's going to have a big part in Season 10. Maybe at the end of Season 9, but what happens at the fair with the Whispers is probably setting up for some big time war, maybe a Whisper war, in Season 10. Negan could be a leader, co-leader of Alexandria, and the fact that Michonne is leaving after Season 10 means that she's going to survive Season 9 into Season 10, but who's going to run Alexandria? Could be Aaron, but Negan could be involved with that. And there's an interesting theory going around that Negan could run Alexandria. That was highlighted by him reading the law books, the same law books that Michonne used to make the charter. So maybe he's brushing up on his law to know what they're building for the future, and it's interesting. But we'll see. Negan's got to have a redemption arc, and why not with the Whisperers going forward? And I personally wouldn't mind that. As for Rosita, she's one of the major deaths in the comic Pike lineup by the Whispers. And if you know the comics, it's kind of the same thing. She was pregnant by Sadiq, but she's with Eugene in the comic and not Father Gabriel, which is different for the show, but Eugene is still kind of involved with that. Father Gabriel's a little twist there. So what's going to happen with this love triangle? Father Gabriel, Sadiq, Eugene, or Rosita? One of them's got to go, right? My money's on Rosita. We'll have to wait and see. As for Henry, a lot of people don't like this kid, and nobody's going to miss him, right? And there's been a lot of word, rumors, potential spoilers about Henry. That he's there, and he's this, and he goes back to the kingdom, or he tries to, and he doesn't make it there. But remember, if Henry didn't go after Lydia, we never would have saw the Whisperer camp. We probably would not have seen Beta, and it would have been different. So Lydia getting back to her camp and Henry going after is probably the reason to see that. And Daryl's got to go protect Henry because Henry is Daryl's problem, Daryl's responsibility. He's responsible for Carol's son. Carol left Henry with Daryl at Hilltop to be a blacksmith. Do you ever think Henry's going to be a blacksmith? Is he ever going to learn any of that trade? He hasn't done any blacksmithing since he's been there. Man, he is slacking. But I could see Henry being killed because life is too good at the kingdom and for Carol right now. And kind of the story of Carol is that she loses people in her life. She lost her daughter, she's lost some love interests, she lost this person, that person, whoever she's been connected with, she's lost so far. Ezekiel could be gone and Henry could be gone. That would be crazy and totally suck for Carol. She would lose her husband and her son. But that might set her off to go looking for this Alpha character because I'm not sure how Alpha and Carol are going to meet. What if Alpha goes up to Carol at the Kingdom and just introduces herself and says hello, and Carol has no idea who Alpha is and what she just did, or what she's going to do at the fair? That would be kind of crazy. I would almost like to see that because we know who Alpha is, but Carol doesn't. And the early word is that Alpha goes to the fair. She's in a dress. She looks kind of normal, I guess. And nobody knows who she is. Because again, the Kingdom doesn't know who Alpha is and anything to do with the Whispers. So if the Whispers go to the fair, people might just think they're a new group and they're okay. We'll see about the Highwaymen. We'll see about Tara, Hilltop, Alexandria, the Kingdom, and potentially Oceanside. I can't wait to find out. But let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. So there's some clues that I saw going with the potential spoilers and the rumors so far. I'm not sure what's going to happen just yet, but once I find out, I will definitely tell you guys. Once I find out information, I share it with you. So let me know your thoughts. Post your comments below. Like, share, subscribe. Become a valued member of our PT channel, Walking Dead family. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, making memories, and as always, tell them, Daryl.
Yo, we love you guys. Honestly, thank you.